even to this day.
Shalom Israel. You know, as we come out week in, week out, and as often as the Most High makes it possible for us to push this word, so we can use it to wake up the elect of His people. Before we start, so we give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Wahab, to the elders and apostles in Israel who will and teach well, to the Akim, to the Iris and Byros and don't fit this word in truth, sincerity, to the brothers and sisters in the truth.
Yeah, before we actually start the lesson, the brothers want to talk about the unfortunate incident that happened to Jason Arday this week. Right, so basically, what we have witnessed is called character assassination. It's modern day lynching. Yeah. So basically, in the post-slavery era, what they call the Reconstruction era, what they did to hold back uppity niggers, I'm sorry, I'm going to use the term, who had just come out of slavery and decided to build Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, to build Harlem, to build the, what do they call the Black universities?
DCU or something?
Yeah, yes, HBCUs, right? To create their own hospitals, their own dentistry, their own bus companies. This is 30 years after slavery. They call it Reconstruction. It's also when the KKK was created. What they decided to do was to destroy the image of a successful black person. They wanted to destroy that because they didn't want to give other people an inspiration to be successful. That's also why they had the race riots, why they destroyed the Black Wall Streets or the black cities in America. Also, why they flooded a lot of them on the lakes. Also, why they built highways through their communities.
Can I just say, just to what the brother said, and this is why they changed the image of all our leaders, Yahushua, Christ, and all the men that of substance, just like what the brother says, to destroy our image, give us no hope and no leaders, so we don't look up to none of our own people, we only look up to them.
Bring out that precept in Maccabees that goes into that, where they change the image.
348, first Maccabees 348.
Oh, yeah. Got it?
Yeah. The book of 1 Maccabees chapter 3 verse 48. And they opened the book of the law, wherein the heathens sought to paint the likeness of their images.
Right, so basically what happened after that was the CIA and the FBI was created under Gay Edgar Hoover. That's why I call him gay, because he was. Gay Edgar Hoover. And what he said was, we do not want a black messiah rising. So we are going to prevent the rise of the black messiah. And they created COINTELPRO. However, they destroyed Marcus Garvey. They destroyed Martin Luther King. They destroyed, what's the other one? Malcolm X, right? There's others as well, Medgar Evers, there's so many. What they realize is that each person they destroyed, 7 more was coming up. They destroyed 7, 8 more was coming up. So they said, no, this is not working. So then what they said, okay, we're not going to assassinate a person because it inspires other people. We are going to character assassinate a person. Right. So why did I relay the historical element to what happened to the beautiful brother, the youngest Cambridge professor, Jason Arday? Why am I bringing all of this up? Now, last week I mentioned it. Why am I bringing all of this up? Because the beloved brother is passed away. His spirit is with Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, as we speak. Right? And we are ordered to cry aloud, spare not. We are also ordered to not allow injustice to occur to our people and not speak about it.
Actually,
Bring the precept out.
Leviticus 5:1.
Bring it out. I'm not a precept guy, so I'm thankful for the help. And I didn't plan. Shalom Wahab. I didn't plan a lesson, but it was on my spirit to speak about it.
Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1. And if a soul sin and hears the voice of swearing, and is the witness, whether he have seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity.
Meaning he would be attached to the sin. Right? Okay. Right. So, as I said, the brother passed away. Right. Now there's not a person in the UK at the moment that has not heard of the youngest black Cambridge professor who was forced to resign because of an allegation of plagiarism. So before we get into the whole thing, I want to mention plagiarism and the way that college, university papers are, how to put it, are tested for plagiarism. Right. So, in this country, when you go to college or you go to university, there's a AI construction called Turnitin, and you have to present your papers to Turnitin, and Turnitin is an AI algorithm that checks every single thing on the internet and compares it to what you've written, and it will tell you how much of what you've written somebody else has wrote. It actually gives you the percentage. So when you put it into Turnitin and it says, okay, 45% was written elsewhere, you have an opportunity to rewrite what you wrote and get the percentage down to something like 25%. That's acceptable. This algorithm has been in effect since 2010, 11, 12. It became perfected in 2020, I think, when AI became prominent. My guy got his doctorate in 2021. So what that is saying is, all of his papers had to have went through Turnitin, had to have passed the criteria for it to be presented. That's a fact. Anybody that went to uni in this country would be able to tell you that what I'm saying is the truth. So that, number one, is crap. Number two, a person who was born with autism, all you have to do is watch the movie Rain Man. And there's another brother, beautiful brother, that has it as well. He's got a photographic memory and he can draw. And he flew over London and he drew, listen mate, he drew a scene of London and he had it in an exhibition. And a brother that was living in a council estate identified his flat and said, oh shit, I left the window open. Right? They have photographic memory. However, my guy's particular autism affected his speech. So he started to speak, I believe, at the age of 8. He started to read and write at the age of 18. So what was he doing? He was observing his surroundings and he was mimicking what he was seeing because he couldn't talk. That's common sense. Also, a person that's on the spectrum, i.e. they have what would be known as, they don't use the word handicap anymore. What's the word? Neurodivergency, right? Meaning he has a clinical disorder, which...
there's definitely some spirits out there. Every time we start to teach, background noise just comes from nowhere. It's just all of a sudden, slap it up.
Yeah. So he had a clinical disorder, which was well known. It just so happened, I'm using myself as an example. I went to college. When I went to college, there was a person, not a brother, but a person who had some sort of dyslexia, which, to be honest, I think I have it as well, but mine is dealing with numbers. He has some kind of dyslexia, and he had a person in the class with him, and he would speak to the person, and the person would write down what he was saying, and that was accounted for him writing it, because he had a disorder. He had a disorder. So this brother, who was the youngest college professor, had a disorder. You cannot judge him to the same standard you're judging regular people, because he had a disorder. So they would facilitate, what do they call that? DEI? Diversity. Gone.
Equity, inclusion or something like that.
Right, so because of this particular policy, diversity, ethnicity and inclusion, right, they would have to facilitate that. You cannot say he plagiarized in the same way that I would plagiarize, because he has a disorder. So you facilitate that, right? Okay, and then I just want to touch the person that first alleged. Bearing in mind, when you allege a crime, the onus is on the person that alleges it to prove it, because you are innocent until proven guilty.
But that's how it's supposed to be.
No, but the reason why I'm saying that is because it's illustrating that this is a character assassination. They assassinated this brother using the media and using what they call public opinion, right? Okay, so they discredited the brother. They caused him or forced him to resign from his position. Now I want you guys to think of people like Michael Jackson. How did the image of Michael Jackson get tarnished? Was it not media character assassination? Think of Prince. How did the image of Prince get tarnished? Was it not media character assassination? Think of Martin Luther King. How did his image get tarnished? Was it not media assassination? Because the CIA was bugging him and they leaked the tape and they said, oh, he was doing freaky deaky and all of that. So I'm saying all of this to say this. That brother that passed yesterday, he passed of a, so they said, because they haven't come up with the details, but they said he had a benign tumor that was affecting his memory. Now a benign in French, I believe it's French, it means good. Malign means bad. So he had a good tumor, meaning it wasn't cancerous. So he had a growth. So apparently, they're not saying anything, but they're saying he had it treated, meaning he had brain surgery. I want you guys to think of what it is I'm telling you. He had major brain surgery. He was taken to his home, because after you have major brain surgery, you ain't taking yourself to your home. He was taken to his home, and then when his family checked up on him, he was found unresponsive, meaning he was dead. How are you gonna perform a brain surgery on a person and take them home without a nurse checking them and monitoring them? By the way, that's how Michael Jackson died, because he was on medication. His doctor was supposed to check on him. His doctor went outside and made a phone call for 20 minutes and Michael Jackson passed. He blamed it on Michael Jackson, saying he was a druggie. They exhumed the body, did an autopsy, and proved that the doctor's negligence killed him. But his character was already assassinated. Right, I want you to bring out the information you have.
Yeah, we went to Mary's University at BA/MA, University College London, Liverpool John Moore University, where he got his PhD. I believe his dissertation is where they accused him of plagiarism, and Cambridge University checked for plagiarism in his dissertation and found none. So this was a false allegation, and the media outlets
Road with it.
Rode with it. They did 180 posts on YouTube and the news channels, Spectator, The Times, LBC, so many outlets, Talk TV, you know, GB News, all of them slating him and put pressure on him, hence why he did resign from his post.
But what about the white professor that's there, meant to have done
Yeah, I did
similar?
research and I couldn't find it. So I'm not saying it didn't happen, but when I did research, they wouldn't show it up. So can you
Fortunate.
can you repeat?
Yeah,
what
very,
you just
very,
said?
yeah, convenient.
Can you repeat what you just said?
Well, basically, his dissertation for his PhD,
No, I think it was about why he resigned.
he resigned because of the media oppression, you know, witch hunt against him. All of these posts are anti because basically they believe in he's a DEI hire, right? Cambridge are to blame for promoting somebody who's not qualified. They basically don't really mention his qualification as if they allowed him to be a professor without the qualifications.
Right. So there's two things I want to mention, right, to support what my beloved aunt just said. Number one, what they're actually doing there, if you understood Roman Catholic doctrine, which I do because I was brought up as a child as a Roman Catholic, when they say Immaculate Conception doesn't mean that Jesus was not born of a virgin. What it means, which he was, well, a virgin meaning a young woman of marriageable age. What it means is that Mary was born immaculate and her mother was born immaculate. Why? Because according to Roman Catholic doctrine, the sin is passed through the men. So when they say sinful flesh or the sin of Adam, what they mean is that the man inherently has sin within him. So being immaculate means you're born without that sin, meaning you're not born of a man. That is a bugged out ideology. But the reason why I'm bringing it out is, if you have to understand plagiarism, and you're saying the guy was not able to be a professor, then what you're actually saying is, he was not able to be a master, because a professor is just somebody that has their master's and then was given funding to do a research. So a professor and a master is no difference. The difference is they have done an individual research, and as a result of that research they've done, they put them as a doctor or a professor. But the level is more or less the same. So what you're saying is, the master that he had was plagiarized, and if the master's was plagiarized, what you're saying is his first degree was plagiarized. That's what you're actually saying. I don't know if you understand it, but anybody that's been through the university process would be able to tell you that. So number one, if you can get your first degree, you can get a master's. If you can get a master's and you get funding, you can get your doctorate. Right? That's number one. Number two, there's something that I've been thinking about with this brother. So if you have a benign tumor, that means you've got a growth, a tumorous growth, growing in your skull. At some point, you're going to go to the hospital and say, I'm getting headaches, my vision is getting blurry, my balance is off, I'm not remembering things. So at which point
Did that happen?
At which point, well, how would you know you have a tumor then?
Well, obviously it never came up whilst he was at work.
Oh, who said it didn't? Right? So therefore, when it was diagnosed and they say, okay, we have to do a major surgery and a date was given, my guy most probably said, okay, let me resign because I'm already having issues. I'm having a health issue. My memory is going. The entire world says I'm plagiarized. Let me resign. Which is leading me to believe that he most probably was liaising with Cambridge and letting them know his health status, i.e., I've been diagnosed with a brain tumor. I have to have a surgery in a fortnight. And then using that information, which is what gay Edgar Hoover did to Malcolm X, to Martin Luther King, to Marcus Garvey, using information against the Messiah-like figure or the inspirational figure, and forced the brother to resign, because he resigned last week, he got the surgery yesterday, and the brother's dead.
You got the surgery yesterday. How's he at home?
That's what I
That's the
said.
point he's making.
Wow.
That is the very point.
That's what I
He shouldn't have
said.
been at home. He should have
Let me
been
read
still
this.
in hospital.
This is Psalm 64 and 2. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly they do shoot at him and fear not.
Yes. So my guy got his professorship or his PhD in 2021, I think it is. But in 2026, right? It's only when he wrote his memoirs, his book, and he's accredited as the youngest professor or youngest black professor. I'm not sure which one is correct, but he was quoted as that. All of a sudden now, somebody called Nathan Kunas, or what's his name? Kofnas or Kofnas or whatever the freaking name is, right? Oh, he believes in plagiarism. Are you a professor? For you to know if somebody's not qualified or able to be a professor, you have to be a professor. You have to be on that level. Just like when it comes to the scriptures, when we have conversations with people, we gauge it based on the knowledge of the scriptures. If you ain't got knowledge of the level that brother have, who are you to say he's plagiarized? Who the hell are you? Nathan Kunas or whatever your name is.
It was just basically a character assassination. They seized the opportunity, they scented blood, and they all piled in until he resigned his position. And now some of them have got egg on their face. I don't know if they got a conscience.
They don't have a conscience.
Now, what they got to say, you know, the man has passed. They've drummed him out of his job, and it was a very vicious attack. 180 posts against him, and then there was another brother that is listed, numerous white scholars or whatever who were also being accused of plagiarism, and they never got the backlash that Jason did.
And by the way, this particular person he's speaking about has been wiped off the internet. I did more or less an hour of research trying to get it on the internet, and I couldn't find it.
It was in the Guardian.
I couldn't. I even looked at that as well. I could not find it. They scrubbed him off the internet, right? But however, what I want Israel, the brothers and sisters that watch us and look at life through a biblical lens, what I want you guys to take from this is the scriptures are real, the prophecies are real, the men that come out and teach in the highways and byways are telling you the truth, and you need to repent and be converted and keep the commandments and the faith.
Shalom, sister.
I'm short.
Just a precept to go on what the Bible was saying about, obviously, when you're in a profession, say like if my brother here, he's a top tier plumber or carpenter, let's say he's a carpenter, he knows the trade, he knows the skills, and then I come in and say, you're not a carpenter. Who am I to say to him he's not a carpenter? But I don't know what he's doing, I don't know the work, I don't know his positions, I don't know his level. But I'm passing judgment on him saying that he's not a carpenter. It's something that the wicked do to our people to keep them at a lower state. And we have to understand that all of this is happening because of the curses. Yeah, but it also proves who the wicked are. Because the wicked would never want to see a Jake succeed in their kingdom, because this is their kingdom. So I've got Psalms chapter 10 and verse 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity.
Right, so cursing.
So under his tongue is cursing. For him to say he can't be a professor, not having a degree himself, is cursing him out. He's calling him out like he's bearing false witness, because you haven't got that degree, that level of degree to say whether he can be a professor or not. only a professor can tell you to be a professor, because you have to go through the same training or the same institution and able to pass that judgment.
And which is why when a professor or a master writes a degree, it's peer reviewed, meaning masters have to read it and they have to okay it. Dismiss it.
Another example given would be the King James Bible itself, the Bible that we read from. King James, he's the authorization of the Bible. He didn't write it, but he had to get Hebrew scholars to come together, and they had to come together with one consent to be like, we agree with this. This is what this is saying. This is what this means. That's why we know using the scriptures, it tells us that they fall short of some words, but at least there was an agreement for it to be able to be authorized. That guy, what's his name?
Nathan Kunas.
He has no authority to be able to pass that kind of sentence or judgment, if he or allegation, were to say, to even say this guy can be a professor. So it just shows you the wickedness of this kingdom when it comes to Jake succeeding. But we need to also understand as Israelites, as Yasharallah, but this is not our kingdom for us to succeed in. So it has the most High is a just way. So he will show you the wicked
transferring of one kingdom
to another. So the most High will show you the blessings that we can have, because he shows it magnitudes it out through us as a nation. Like the dancing, the music, the food, the culture. He magnifies that through his people. But success rate, we ain't gonna get the success rate because of he shows us who the wicked are, because we didn't keep the commandments. So the wicked's gonna have to do his part. So it's a just balance. So understanding that the brother, even though he was innocent in what he was saying in his works, the curse is still applied to him, and the wicked are gonna be wicked.
This is 1 John 2 and 15. It says, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world." Now, obviously, people go colleges, etc., to try and get qualifications to better themselves so that they can get a good paid job. But your qualifications are things of the world, and there's no way we should be making these things, make us commit a what? I think it's Sirach 1 and 12.
Let me see.
Yeah, put in Sirach 1 and 12. Yes, you do these things to try and get by in the world, but any qualifications that I've achieved, at the end of the day, they're rubbish, because none of them ain't going to get me to the kingdom of heaven. You understand? No, Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 12. So, Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 12.
I just want to add that Ryan Abbott also went to Cambridge University, and David Lammy went to Harvard.
He went to Harvard, yeah.
And the media also put both of them as low IQ, lack of wisdom or intelligence. So they need Jake to be seen as a laughing stock or foolish or somebody of low intelligence.
What's that? Is it Psalm 97? Is the one where it says that we carved them a song?
137.
137, yeah. So they require of us to be the clowns, to be the basketballers, to be the footballers, to be the singers, but not to be the intelligent. Even though it took Israelite women to figure out how to get the rocket to go to the moon, and to help that cloud to split the atom to create the nuclear bomb, but they don't talk about it. It's called hidden figures. They don't talk about it.
Sister that helped to make the GPS.
Yes.
Coordinates.
Like I was saying, we use the things of the world, but we don't abuse it or make it get to our heads. Like I was saying, the qualifications that we achieve throughout life, none of those are going to get us into the kingdom. So therefore, when it says love not the world, neither the things in the world, you should make none of these if they want to take it away or discredit the name, make you do this.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 12. Seek not death in error of your life, and put not off upon yourself destruction.
Yeah, because what happens, some people, they make these things get to them so much, they go and take their own lives. You know what I'm saying? These are just things of the world, man. Yeah.
With the works of your hands. And just to the brother is speaking. So just to say, to add to what the brother was saying, is that when he says, love not the world, neither the things in the world. So when, like the brother was saying, we do things that are in the world, so that's why the Most High said, render unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. So go and get your education, Go and do that. You know, render unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. But give to the Most High what belongs to the Most High. So go and get that education and use it to your knowledge and get wisdom. That's how we come into the truth. We see the world, we understand their history, and then we can line it up with the scriptures and be like, well, that don't make sense. So you render on Caesar what belongs to Caesar because you learn in his history, but then you understand that that's not our history. So we can learn. That's how we can pick up the book and say, well, your history is wrong. Like the Messiah is not an Edomite looking guy. The scripture says he's this. That's a lot. Shalom to the mighty brother Yeshaya for making this analogy. How can you bring us from the west coast of Africa and teach us white Jesus and teach us the Bible? First and foremost, teach us the Bible and teach us white Jesus when white Jesus ain't in the Bible. So render unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Okay, we learned your Jesus, but the Bible, you're going against it. So you have to use. That's why it says, "Be wise as a serpent and harmless as the dove." Because when you start using their devices against them, they crumble, they fall. Why? Because it was all ours anyway. We just know how to refine it. Like gold is tried in the fire. That's what we do. When we see something that's not working, who do they come to? They come to us.
So we slave them.
But there's a balance in it. There's left and right. They normally use the wisdom for bad, and we use it for good.
Yeah, just what let me just bring out a precept, just on what the brother was talking about as well. This is what do you call it? A Psalm of David, which is Psalm 64, and I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, "Hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy."
Right, so this is David, there's a Psalm of David, right? So this is David who went through a lot of trials and tribulation, praying to the Most High and asking or relying on the Most High for security, stability, and to help him from his enemies.
Verse 2, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked."
So the wicked is laid out in Malachi, I think, was it Malachi 3?
1.
Malachi 1?
Chapter 1.
No, chapter 1, verse 3, I think.
From
Verse
back
4,
down.
and then there's one in Job as well. What is it, Job
9.
9? I'm not the precept now, but I have an idea where they are. Right, so the wicked is the heathen, but in particular, it's the chief heathen or the chief person outside of Israel that rules the world or controls the world.
Can I just add to that also? And the wicked can also be the people of the whole nation.
Yes.
So don't just think that we're all in this together. There will be some of our people in our nation that will sell us out, that will also be cast as the wicked because they're not showing the commandments of love on our brother or helping our brother. They would rather want to get their way up, so they want to see you fall in order for them to take your position.
I'd say in all nations you've got people that are wicked, but in the Bible there's a nation that is called the wicked.
Exactly, that's the point I was making. Because there's wicked in all. Wicked just means that you're unrighteous and you're not following the law, statutes, and commandments, and you're not in the covenant. That's wicked. So yes, we are wicked people, right? Because 2/3 of our people aren't going to make it. That's a fact. But the point being, the wicked,
Which is what this verse
they're the
actually
ones that
says.
are running things, and they're the ones that plot and scheme. Why not?
Yeah, it says, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity." Verse 3, "Who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows."
So
Even bitter words.
Right,
That's the same
right.
word.
So the two-edged sword, your tongue is likened to a two-edged sword because you can cut and slash down to your bone marrow with the words that come out of your mouth. And also, when you use words, sometimes you cut yourself with them. That's why it's a two-edged sword. And then what's the last bit about?
Who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words.
Right, so that's likening an arrow or ICBM guided missile to a word. Because remember, when you send a word out, you're directing it to the person and it hits the target. That's why you can have a crowd of people and make an analogy, and the dog that the stone hit is the one that's going to ball.
For real. Verse 4, they shoot that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not.
Right, so the reason why it's suddenly is because they've already had their crafty count. They've already executed a diligent search, meaning they've searched, they found the information, and they've got what they needed to attack you. So when they decide to attack you, it's always suddenly because you're not prepared for it. What's the last bit?
And fear not.
And they fear not because they're in control. So they can hide another person who plagiarized and was a pedophile. They could wipe him off the internet. They could change the information and they can change your view. They have the power to change your view if you're not grounded in the truth. So that's why they don't fear.
Start with verse 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter.
Right, so encourage meaning we are ordered to exhort our brothers. That's why we're ordered, I think it was in Zephaniah 2, where we're ordered to come together, or nation not desired. But what they do, they come together and they empower each other with their policies and with their ideologies and
they encourage themselves in an evil matter.
So they build themselves up in their evil work, and they're all in agreement because they're all wicked.
They commute.
And you know when we say there's wicked amongst our people, so I just chatting to a brother just a while ago on the side, and he said he believes in the Bible. So I said, yeah, we come to teach the truth from the Bible. And I asked him, who did Christ come and die? Do you believe that Christ came and died for everyone? He said, yes. I said, can I show you that the Bible says different? He said, no. He said, I'm an elder of a church, you know, I think you're looking to be a pastor. So I said, would you rather teach what religion teaches, or you rather teach what the Bible teaches? The man said, you'd rather teach what religion teaches.
Acts 5:29.
Do you know what?
Shalom, Jacob Benedro.
Show up. You know what? Do you know why he wants to show up? Do you know why he wants to teach what the religion teaches? Because he can still stay fat in his pocket. Because if he teaches what the Bible teaches, they'll cast him out. Just like what they did to the blind man when he said Christ opened his eyes. They cast him out. It's the same thing. They already had that ruling.
And we're going to change the type.
Let me just finish reading this. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune laying snares privily.
Right. So
privily.
Laying snares privily is you conduct a research, you get the information, you gather your wicked people together, and you have a consultation. Psalms 83. You agree on the decision of what you're going to do.
That's right.
Then you say, okay, how are we going to do it? So can you remember with Ahab when the angels went to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and asked him, Yahweh asked them, who's going to go and accomplish this work for me? And they said, I will, and the other one said, I will. He said, how are you going to do it? And he said, okay, I'm going to be a lion prophet, a lion spirit in the mouth of the prophet. Right. So, what that's demonstrating is you plan, you made a decision, and you executed it. And that's what they do.
This is exactly what this is saying, and they said, they commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? That's the thing. Who's going to catch them out? So what they did to that Jason, who's going to find them out?
Right, and the reason why they say that is because they do not believe in Yahweh, Yahushai. They do not believe there's a power greater than them. So that's why they say who, because they know no man that walks what they say, that pisses on the wall, can do anything to them.
Yeah.
But they underestimate the power of Yahweh.
Verse 6. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thoughts of every one of them and the heart is deep.
Right, so the inward thought meaning their plots, their schemes, their desires. The heart is deep, meaning the mind is deep. It's full of dangerous thoughts, deceit, illusion, false ideologies, false religious practices.
It also goes into that where the heart is deep, is that they're so fixated on that wickedness. They're not even going to turn and think, oh, to repent on it. They're going to be like, no, this is it. We're executing that plan. There's no arguing. We all agree. That's it. That's the plan. We're going to do that, and that's how the wickedness stay. And they won't diverse from it. It's like let's say you go into a country and they're going to say, oh, we're going to bomb this country. That's the plan. They're not going to say, oh, but maybe we should. No, that's the plan. We're going to do it. Billions of people are going to die and we're not going to take the blame. Let's do that. We'll pass it on to someone else. Boom. Oh, this nation did it. That's their plan. They're fixated on it because they believe with their wickedness they will get away with it.
And you know what, as you say that, do you know what was a diligent search as well? Through the vid. When the vid was going on, what did Putin do? Open the phone. And he showed that they're deceiving you. This is what the Yahushua looks like.
Yeah.
That was strategic.
Yeah.
And the only reason why he did that, he didn't do that
Yes.
because he wanted to tell the truth. Because he has had that in the vault for centuries. The reason why he did that is because he wanted to drum up civil unrest in the UK and in particular the US.
Yes. And drum up support for himself. Yeah. Let's not forget the main goal. Yeah, anyway.
That's funny though. Because he showed Jake, the Messiah was the Jake. And Jake said, oh, I'm doing this thing. Yeah, bro. Don't get twisted. He's using it. Don't fool into the soul.
No, but you see, the thing is, the brothers have been pulling out the precept and demonstrating that since 1969, if not before that. However, because even the brother that's making waves now, you know that news reporter that's making waves in Israel, because he's so anti-Israel. You know the guy used to be in the news and then he's in a podcast. The guy that
white dude.
TMS.
Yeah. What's I can't remember his name. You know the white dude used to be the news
He
reporter.
was a news reporter and then he lost his job and he's got a successful podcast. I forgot his name. Tucker.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Yes, that's
Tucker
yes,
Carlson.
yes.
So Tucker Carlson met the men of the Lord in New
Yes.
York in, I think it was the early 2000s. I've seen the video many years ago where the elders, Elder Tahar, Apostle Tahar, and the other elders taught him certain information which he didn't accept at the time. But obviously, as a researcher, he researched it and he's the one that's bringing it out. All of a sudden, oh yeah, did you hear this and did you hear that? The brothers have been pushing out for like 20, 30, 40 years. Come on.
Because what the Israelis are doing is harming the American and his people and making America the bidding on the Israelis. That's why now there is an issue between the Israelis and the Americans. And that's why Tucker Carlson is speaking out. That's an American Christian, but they don't want to go this far for the sake of the Israelis.
Right, so that's a good point that he's making because Tucker Carlson was a Trump advocate back in the day. So when you saw Kanye and them wearing, and Candace Owens and them wearing the MAGA hat initially, he was one of those people, right? But then he realized the unhealthy relationship between the Israeli and the American government, and he's fighting against it. And because he was taught by the elders, and he did his own research, he's using that information to cut them.
Now this is why they don't listen to us. This is Sirach 13:23. When a rich man speak, every man holdeth his tongue. And look what he saith. They install it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fella is this? And if he stumble, that will help to overthrow it.
Yeah, if he stumbles, you know what they do? Kick away his other supporting leg.
Yes.
So he goes proper down.
Which is what they did to the brother.
Exactly. Yeah. So any little thread you're holding on to, kick that away too.
Merciless.
Yeah. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change what the lesson was going to be because I did have quite a lot to go out. So we was going to do. No. When is my time again? I know you can't stomach too much of me, so I won't put you through that. Yeah, I won't put you through that agony of everything. So I'll give you me in small doses.
No, after you talk about me, brother. Okay, I'm the one you need small doses of.
No, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change to Psalms 91 actually. I'm going to just touch on Psalms 91 because you find a lot of Christians always quote Psalms 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High, and they have these nice verses, and they put them, and not only that, they put themselves to it. Like it relates to them.
Themselves.
That's
the
thank you. That's
and the promise.
Right.
This is one of the precepts they used to do.
So this is a main precept.
The main one.
Psalms like one of the main ones.
Psalms 23.
Yeah. But see, Psalms 23 is a prayer, so they don't really hit that as much as Psalms 91. Yeah. So if you could
Psalms
read.
91, when there is problems or
Yes.
Yeah.
If you can get me Matthew 23, 27 to 28. You can get me 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3. You can get me Psalms 142 and then 119. Yeah. Right, if you can read for me Psalms 91, read 1, 2, and then I'll tell you. Read 1 or 2 and then 7, 8, 9, 10. Now this is it. And now the reason why I've asked the brother to read Psalms 91 verses 1 and 2 and then jump to 7 to 10 because this is what they actually do. And I'll show you why they skip out verses, like 3, 4 and 5 and 6 kind of. Right? But watch this. Yeah, this is what they do. Read that for me.
Psalm chapter 91 verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
Yeah, he'll shadow me under his wing. I'm protected. I'm in Christ. That's, And you know what? A lot of us would be really under this if we do it correctly, as it's commanded us to do. We will be in the shadow of the secret of it, under the shadow of the Most High.
Verse 2.
Yeah, verse 2. Yeah, it's fine. However you see.
I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge.
See, that's what I say. The Lord is my refuge. He dwells with me, I dwell with Him. I'm in Him, He's in me.
Personal relationship.
Yeah, they couldn't get any personal, could they?
I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust.
Now, it makes me laugh when they say that in Him will I trust, but yet they do nothing He tells them to do. But yet in Him, He's their fortress, and in Him will they trust. But jump to verse 7.
Verse 7, 1,000 shall fall at thy side.
And I remember, what do you call it? That dodgy. Well, he calls himself a pastor, but he's actually a motivational speaker.
Most of them are.
No, the one in particular. Yeah, what's his name again?
The white one. He never reads any Bible verse.
He's when the girls are talking, the smooth. He's
He never reads no Bible verse.
Oh my goodness. Joel Osteen. Yeah, thank you. Joel Osteen is a perfect video because Joel Osteen had that actor. Yeah, he had an actor. What's his name? That guy. Who plays Medea?
Oh, the black
Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry. He had him now because Tyler Perry's supposed to turn Christian, and he's for your past. He has him in his local church.
Yeah, he was personally hand-trained by what's the name of that Atlanta pastor that said he's an old Atlanta pastor. For some reason his name eludes me. You'll come to me anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, he has Tyler Perry in his church, and Tyler Perry is the one reading Psalms 91 and breaking it down like he knows what he's talking about. It's Tyler Perry doing it in the Lakewood Church.
Right.
Yeah. Read that from 7.
1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Verse 8. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked.
But they never tell you who this wicked is, that you're going to see the reward falling.
The wicked is Satan.
Yeah. Because it's true. They never tell you who it is. Yeah. But they quote this verse.
We have to realise the Most High as a people that's meant to represent him on earth, Satan as a people that's meant to represent him on earth.
Yeah, read on that.
Verse 9, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation.
And this is the part he homed in on this bit as well. Verse 10.
There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling.
He homed in on those particular points, and everybody's clapping, the women dancing, and you know, they loved it, because it's exactly what they want to hear. Nothing will befall them. But you remember, he skipped verses 3, 4, 5, and 6, if I remember correctly. He skipped them verses. Why? We're going to see why in a minute. Anytime when you're ready?
Yeah.
Let's have Matthew 23, 27 to 28.
So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 23, verses 27 and 28. Verse 27. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees.
Now, the scribes and Pharisees, today there are preachers and pastors who's supposed to be over the flock. They're supposed to be teaching like the lost tribes the way to come back to repent, meaning to return from where you used to be. Return back. That's what repentance is.
For ye are like unto whited sepulchres.
Yeah, them guys, they're like whited grapes.
Yep. Which indeed appear beautiful outward.
Yeah, because when you go and visit any grave, you trim it, you put down flowers, you've got a nice beautiful headstone, you've got a nice little picket white fence going around it. It looks lovely.
But are within full of dead man's bones.
But when you dig it up, what's in there is useless. You can't do nothing with it.
And of all uncleanliness, verse 28. Even so, ye also outwardly appear righteous.
And even so, you pastors, preachers, you Joel Osteen, you Tyler Perrys, and all those ones that throw darts at the wicked and claim to be serving the Most High God. Because they're using his word, but they're using it deceitfully.
Even so, ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men.
Yeah, because other men look at you, they hark on your every word. And you know the worst thing is that they believe and trust you because you're in a prominent position. You've got a degree. You know, you've got a law, you've got a degree, you're a doctorate,
But within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity.
You're a hypocrite because you don't preach what you don't practice. That's it. You don't practice what you preach.
Right.
You're a hypocrite.
Right.
Yeah, and you're an iniquity because you're not even keeping the laws yourself.
Right.
And let's have 1 Thessalonians 5:3.
This is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 3. But when they say peace and safety,
And that's the main thing you always hear from the Christian church and everything. Peace, safety, tranquility. You know, the windows of heaven will open and show you that you can't even receive it, all these goods you're going to get.
then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travailing upon a woman and child, and they shall not escape.
That's right, you're not going to escape your judgment. Whether you think you will not. Yeah? Precept, bring it out. If you got your precept here, bring your precept.
I'm looking for the one that says, go to take the day of the Lord.
Yeah, that does.
So I'm gonna quickly just paraphrase the precept. Going into that, what the brother saying, it's the same thing with like with what the brother was talking about with like the Christian pastors in the church and stuff. It's like when they Jesus is gonna come back soon and they teach you like prosperity. Moses says, woe to them that desire the day of the Lord. Why does he say woe? Because of destruction, you don't know your judgment. So when they're sitting there sending that false narrative that it's all going to be hunky-dory and happy, they're not telling people about the destruction that's going to come in his coming. Because the Messiah says he's going to come back like a lion. And when he's coming back from Bosra with his garments dyed in red. And they're not teaching that. So they're teaching the people a false narrative of the coming of the Messiah, which now is leading people into delusions and illusions of the tongue of what man says without reading the scriptures.
Yeah. If you can go back to Psalms 91, you can read one through to 4.
Psalm chapter 91 verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge, my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence.
Right, so I remember him reading this verse, and then he skips from this now to verse 7. But what we're going to do now, we're going to read verse 4. This is a verse he skipped.
Verse 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers.
There we go.
And under his wing shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler.
Now this is important to that Psalms 91, because it says his truth is going to be our shield and our buckler. Now we know a shield and a buckler is the sword. The shield and the buckler is that little bowl, kind of like half circle bowl that's within the shield. Yeah, right. And what does that do? That parries away attacks. That's your defense. So showing you the truth is going to be your defense. That's what Psalms 91, and when you go to verse 4, is showing you that's how you get from when you read verse 1 from verse 1 to 3, verse 4 shows you how you get that protection.
Right, so the reason why it's shaped in a semicircle is because it's in the middle of the shield. So if you're holding a shield here, that circular bolt thing is going to basically be where your center mass is. So what it does is prevents arrows and sword thrust from entering the center mass of the shield.
And you know what it also does? In case you drop your shield, your sword, the shield is used as a weapon. Because that little half bolt can crack a man's skull.
Yes.
That's what it's there for. You know, you give somebody a crack with that. You see them in them Romans with their sword, and someone's coming there. Why they stop them there? They bash them up with his shield.
That's why we know that Captain America's a Jake.
Come on, so if you could read that verse 4 again for me.
Verse 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wing shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler.
Good, let's see what his truth. That's going to be the shield and buckler. That's Psalms 119. Yeah.
Psalm chapter 17 verse 8. Keep me at the apple of thy eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings, from the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who compass me about.
Let's have Psalms 119 verses 1 to 14 and then jump to 1.
For Psalms 119 or 142.
So let's see what that truth is. That's good. That truth is going to be your shield and buckler, because we don't actually have shields and bucklers here. So what is that truth we have to rely on to be covered by the Most High?
Thy truth is an everlasting righteousness,
Anyway, so read that again.
Psalm 119 verse 142, thy righteousness.
That's better.
What did I say?
You said thy truth. Yeah.
Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness,
So that means that this is everlasting. It ain't going anywhere.
and thy law is the truth.
So that's the truth. And read that 151, the same chapter.
Verse 151, thou art dear, O Adawan Yahweh, and all thy commandments are truth.
So that's what saves you. Because like, in this day and age, we've got to keep the commandments of the Lord, sorry.
Our secret place.
Yeah, to be covered in that sin. Because we're going to need, like when things really go off, we're going to need the Most High to cover us in that secret place. Bring out your precept up. This is the book.
This is Isaiah 59 and verse 1. It says, behold, Yahweh's hand is not shortened that it cannot save, neither is his hair heavy that it cannot hear. But your iniquities have separated between you and your power, and your sins have hid his face from you that he will not hear. So when you're going to be hiding under the secret place of the Most High, for him to protect you, you've got to be keeping his law, statutes, and commandments.
Right. That's the only way. Oh yeah, bring out.
There are two precepts here for the truth. This is First Ezra chapter 4 and verse 38. As for the truth, it endureth, and it's always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. Sirach
Tell you
chapter
that the law's still around.
Sirach chapter 4 and verse 28. Strive for the truth unto death,
Right.
and Yahweh shall fight for thee.
You know, somebody else has to. Somebody said they had something. Oh yeah, you did. Okay, if you can go back to someone bring out something else in a minute actually. If you can go back to Psalm 91 verse 4. Another really good one. I just want to read that again for me up.
Look at Psalm 91 verse 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings thou trust.
Now I want to hold it there. Alright, bring your precept. Hold that there. Bring your precept.
Right, so there's a significance with this verse. I think Yahweh Shai also said a verse similar to this.
Hang on, if that's what I think, I'm coming there. That's okay. That if there's one word. Yeah, hold that. Yeah, hold that. That's coming. Yeah, so, you're on point. Right, read that again. Read that again.
This is Psalm 91 verse 4. He shall cover thee with feathers, and under his wings thou trust.
Now, Yahweh Shai, Christ said something similar to that. Somebody read Matthew 23 now. Matthew 23, 37. Again, this is the precept.
Yeah. I'll put that one.
Yeah, read that Matthew 23, 37.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 27.
Now this is it.
Oh, Yerusalem, thou that killest the prophets and stones them which are sent unto thee.
Here we go.
How often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth the chickens under her wings, and ye would not.
See that?
Question
So
mark.
even Yahushua is quoting, but where's he quoting that verse from?
Yeah, so this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 1, verses 29 and 30. Verse 29, that he would be my people.
And this is how you know you have to accept the Apocrypha, because Christ is quoting from the Apocrypha. Because that verse in Matthew 23
and 27.
and 37, you won't find anywhere in the Bible apart from the Apocrypha.
Yep. Right. That ye would be my people, and I should be your God, that ye would be my children, and I should be your father. Verse 13. I gathered you together as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wing. But now, what shall I do unto you? I will cast you out from my face.
Meaning they're going to go into slavery. This is why Yahushua said that, and ye would not, meaning you would not listen. So because you won't listen, there's a consequence.
And one of the reasons why you have to read the Apocrypha as well, because Yahushua kept the Feast of Dedication, and the Feast of Dedication is listed out in the Maccabees. I think it's either first or second Maccabees, but it's listed out in the Maccabees. So the fact that he was keeping it, for you to get the information in it, you have to go to first Maccabees.
Right, because it has to be
Not
kept
in the Bible.
Not yet, it has to be kept in its season. How would you know what season to keep it in if you don't read it in the first Maccabees? And how to keep it. Right, if somebody can grab Revelation 14 and 12. If you can get 22, 40, if you can get 14 and 12. No, stay where you are for one. You had Revelation 14 and 12.
Yeah. 14.
Yeah, and then you got 22.
So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 12. This is Revelation chapter 14 and verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God, their power.
You know what? It's kind of funny how you can read these kind of verses in the Bible. Christians will still try and use
I know, to disannul it.
And by the way, not just in the Bible, in the last book of the Bible,
shows you they're not the saints.
which Revelation, nearly of the whole book is a prophetic book, meaning that this is going to happen in the future. And it's saying this.
He's saying they're not the saints in the church, but they're just keeping the faith of God.
So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 12.
Yeah, here we go.
Here is the patience of the saints.
This is what the saints are patiently waiting for.
Here are they that keep the commandments of God, Yahweh power, and the faith of Jesus, Yahushua, Hamashiach.
So we have to do both.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all I wanted. Just
Yeah.
bring out 22 just to back that up.
Revelation chapter 22 and verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city.
Let's read on it. Next verse, 15, yeah.
Verse 15. Without our dogs.
Now, the dogs are the Avelations. I won't probably grab a precept for it. The dogs are the Avelation. Remember, Yahushua said.
Exodus 11 and 7.
Yeah. And Yahushua said in Matthew, was it 15 and 22? No.
Probably verse 25.
Somewhere around 24.
25.
Yeah. About like you not cast it to dogs. Yeah. Read it. Yeah, go read on.
Verse 15, for without our dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
Showing that all the people outside the kingdom are all not keeping the commandments of the Most High Power. It's that simple. Alright, if you can go back to Psalms 91, now because you read 4, read 5 and 6.
Book of Psalms chapter 91 verse 5.
And this is a verse he missed out as well. He didn't miss that. He missed out 5 and 6 and he went straight to 7, the good stuff. But let's see what 5 and 6 is saying.
Psalms chapter 91 verse 5. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flies by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday.
Now let's see what that's talking about. Let's go to 2 Ezra 16, 13 to 16.
This is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 16, verse 13.
Matthew 19. Because I was asking the elder what we must do for everlasting life.
Oh, okay.
And he said, I'm going to twist it. So I just want to read it, and you
So
take it.
he knew you'd twist it before you even read it.
Yeah, 16 and 17.
Yeah. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verses 16 and 17. Verse 16. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? Question mark. Verse 17. And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments.
What does that mean? Explain that to me. I don't want to twist it.
Jesus tells you, he said, the commandment I give unto you. You shall love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy mind. Love thy neighbor as thyself.
And you know what he said after that? What did he say after that? There's a bit you're missing out.
Let me ask you a question. Did Jesus came to earth?
Yeah.
Did he die?
Yeah.
Did he pay the price for the sins of the world?
Depends on what word it is.
You're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because this is where that's going to lead. I've seen it
Yes.
straight away. He asked you a question, now you've diverted it back. Now you need to answer the question.
No, but explain that
Yes,
to
you
me.
have to explain Matthew 19 and 16, what we just read.
But you said
He
I will take it,
Christ just said, if thou were entered to life, keep the commandments. Christ just said that. Would you agree he said that?
Let me ask you.
No, wait. Let's
Read first and then answer.
Before you can you can't just disannul. Right, now, did Christ, no,
Let me
did,
answer.
wait, let me frame.
No.
I haven't finished framing, right? You can't tell me no. You can't tell me I'm finished, I'm still talking. Right? Now, the question is, Christ just said, if thou were entered into life, keep the commandment. Now, what did he mean when he said that? Now, you need to explain what did he, don't go somewhere else. I want to know, what did he mean when he said you have to keep the commandments?
You should love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy mind.
And that's what he meant.
But there's an important part to what he said that you'll miss out. He said, on these two commandments, and all the law and the prophets. So he wasn't going to sit down there and name all the dietary laws.
Let me ask you a question. Is Jesus God?
Jesus is...
One moment.
Wait, you answer
The
question.
Bible says,
Wait, you asked a question. Let us elaborate on it. Because you keep asking questions. Listen, you keep asking questions. Wait.
was the Word.
We know what it, listen.
And the Word was with God. And the Word was God. And the Word...
What does that mean? What does that mean, the Word was
So what do you
God?
mean by God then?
What does God mean?
The Creator and the one who did you.
Give us a... Well, listen, wait a minute. He said... Listen to what he said. He said God means... You said God means the creator of heaven and earth. Can you give us Psalms 82? Watch this. Wait. You keep asking questions. You're not letting us... You're not letting us land... You're not letting us land the plane.
Let me tell you something.
Wait, listen to this
One
verse.
moment. The Bible said, anybody who take away from the Word.
We're not taking away nothing. We're going to read.
You're all ignorant
But
to
you
the
haven't
Word.
read nothing yet.
Every one of you.
Listen to this.
And you twist it
Read
and try
that,
to...
read
Let me
that.
tell you something.
No,
Hell is your destination.
that's very false.
Listen. You see, this is the problem.
That was very false.
No, it's not. Everything you said didn't come out of the Bible, but everything we said came out of the Bible. But brother, come in. Let me show you something. Now, we read this verse. Read that again. Matthew 19. Now, this is what we read to him. Read Matthew 9:16. Tell us what this means.
So this is the book of Matthew.
No, that's fine. But you don't have to be, because this is plain. No, read, I'm showing you. Read that. Listen, this is where it stemmed from. We read this to them. This is the book. Watch this.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 9.
Never learning, but we never come into the knowledge of the truth.
After the second and third
Just ignore him,
admonition,
because he don't know nothing.
shun them.
Well, listen
So
to
this is the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verses 16 and 17. Verse 16. And behold, one came and said unto him,
which is where one came to Christ and said,
Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal
He
life?
wants to know, what do you have to do to get
be
eternal
saved.
life? To be saved. Now, this is how Christ answers.
Verse 17.
Watch this. Wait. Let's stay. No, I know that, but I want to stay here first, because then we'll go somewhere else.
Yeah, because we do everything in order. So if I'm reading, it's not really wise to ask something else while I'm reading.
Yeah. Now
So
watch
verse
this.
16, verse 17. And he said unto him, why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, and that is God.
Now he's going to tell you how you get everlasting life.
But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments.
Now, what would that mean to you? So if I said to you, if you want everlasting life, you've got to keep the commandments, what would I mean? Or the commandments of the Lord. Yeah? Or if you might only know it as the 10 Commandments. But alright, so even like you just said out your mouth the 10 Commandments. Is the 10 Commandments love the Lord thy God with all your heart, mind, soul, and love thy neighbour as thyself? Now, alright, I'll tell you. Number one, love thy neighbour as thyself is not even in the 10 Commandments.
Oh, you said the same thing as well. Alright, so I'm still holding the precept.
Yeah, bring out.
So
Where
you
did he say that?
No.
He said the 10 Commandments.
He said the 10 Commandments.
Oh, okay.
But the point is, that guy was trying to come with
Say,
love thy neighbour as yourself and love, well, number one, love thy neighbour as yourself ain't even in the 10 Commandments.
right.
You'll find that in the book of Leviticus. But the brother was showing him the reason why Christ said the commandments, because he weren't going to sit down and name everything. But the one he quoted, where he said, love the Lord thy God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love thy neighbour as yourself. Christ also said, on these two commandments hang ye all the law and the prophets. They don't acknowledge that point. So they're trying to make it seem like it's only just 2 laws. But no, there's many of them. But Christ wasn't going to sit down there and list everyone. It would have took him the whole day, mate. That's the point.
Just want to mention about Islam.
What's that?
Right.
That's how we got Islam.
That's how, I mean, what do you follow? I thought so. That's why I gathered that you said that you're not really Christian, which is fine because nor are we. We ain't Christians either.
No.
Christian is in that Christian term. Christianity came through the Romans. Christianity and Christian is a mocking term, and it's a Bible. Thank you. It's a Bible. Right? I mean, if we wanted to use the word Christian, we would say we're true Christians because we actually do what Christ says. Them people, like the guy you just saw, doesn't. They hold to a doctrine, but they don't actually do what the Bible says. And you being a Muslim, you should believe in the Bible because your book says you're supposed to believe in the Torah and the Injil. It says that verbatim. Which 4? You said the 4 books. Which are the 4 books?
But you know the Quran teaches you that the Torah was given as guidance for the children of Israel. Yeah. So do they teach that according to prophecy you're a child of Israel? You're an Israelite.
See, you know, because you wouldn't know that.
So that's why I wanted to ask you. So you said that you were born a Muslim. So your parents are Muslims, right? Where are they from? No,
Yeah, which one?
Somalia. Are you from southern Somalia? Are you Daraj? Are we are?
I don't like to get into that.
Oh, okay. So, because the thing is, certain Somali tribes are actually Israelites, right? So I know for a fact that there's a tribe that are Bantu, so they would be Israelites. There's a tribe called Isaac, they would be Israelites. Hawiya is Israelites, that means my breath or my existence. So if you say Yahweh, if you reverse the Yah, you will get Hawaya. That's Hawiya, right? So that's another way to say the Most High's name actually. And there's another group as well called the Yeber, Y-E-B-E-R. They're Israelites. So that's the reason. I didn't ask because I wanted to put you out there, but I asked because I have an in-depth understanding of Somali. But my best friend is a Somali. And most of my friends are Somali.
I don't know which Israelite branch you guys belong to, but there are certain Israelites that will be some Africans as
Because we were stolen from the west coast of Africa.
Yep.
And, you know, the West, or today, in modern terms, anyone that comes from that landmass, they group as one group of people. So that's not the case. There's different nations over there. There's Hamites, you've got Israelites, now you've got Edomites over there. Edomite would be a descendant of Jacob's brother Esau. Yeah, his descendant goes to a nation called Edom. Yeah, which today, for the most part, but not always, are sort of white people. Well, devil means this, yeah, but devils mean deceiver. So you can get, like in the Bible, get me Malachi 1. And someone get me Jeremiah
The word
5.
devil is just means deceiver. So,
Watch this. Jeremiah 5:26.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 5 and verse 26. For among my people are found wicked men.
So the Bible's letting you know. The Bible's letting you know that amongst Israelites there are found wicked men. Now get me Malachi 1 and 4.
Book of Malachi chapter 1 verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
So just like how amongst all nations there are wicked people, there's a nation in the Bible that's known as the wicked. So they top the scale of wickedness.
I got peace, man.
now we are Israelites, and we're coming back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, not via religion, because even what you're in is a religion.
I have a verse for you and my brother does as well. In terms to the question that you asked. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting, lacking, cannot be numbered. So according to this, if something is made wicked, you can't fix it. It's made to be.
That's his purpose.
Last one.
One more.
This is the book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
It's a
Question.
nation on the earth which is known as the wicked, and they cover the
Change
faces.
the images of the real Christ to giving the world his image.
Alright, thanks for listening, man.
Take it easy, yeah?
He's got like a Negro flavor.
Vino type.
That's how I know. That's how I know that most of them that are
Maybe his dad's son. It's one of the you can see his hands.
If he takes it here, he walked up and down several times. If he takes it here, he was like,
he wants to
so the spirit was with him. He wanted to acknowledge
He wants to understand what's happening.
And his mom, I think his mom trying to pull him away.
He even said to her, wait a minute. So she kept quiet. And you know what? And this is why we say sometimes, like, it's right to teach anybody, because somebody else would hear. Like the guy, the deceiver that was standing here. It all started with him. And the guy standing there watching us play out and come over to see, like, what was that about?
Right,
Now we can educate him. So, you know?
So this is the book of Tobit, chapter 13, verses 3 to 4. Verse 3. Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he hath scattered us among them. Verse 4. There declare his greatness and extol him before all the living, for he is our Lord, and he is the God of our Father forever.
This is 2 Timothy 2:24, and the servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle unto all men. That's my point. Apt to teach, patient.
See,
Sometimes we just want to strive, like regardless of who comes up, teach. Because I always say
that's
this.
it, just teach.
I always say this is like, you know, when I came into the truth, a lot of my regular questions was answered by interactions on the street.
I would say
And
maybe
then
all of them.
when I wanted a bit more understanding, I'd watch a sit down.
Then you go
lesson.
to watching
You know what I'm saying?
lessons, yeah.
So, but brothers will just quickly run someone with the car, they're not buying people, or, well, you don't even know. Sometimes you might even read this wrong anyway.
And you know, it doesn't even matter if they ain't your
Yeah.
people. You can still just teach what the
This is what I
Bible
just read.
says.
This is what I just
Yeah.
read. But the point being, oftentimes with our people, when we first come to the truth, and I'll hold my hand up, right, we're overly zealous and we're not fully equipped, right? And we're not fully equipped to address certain questions. So what we do as a defense is we attack and we give them venom. But actually, the superior person or the person that's most informed doesn't have to raise a voice when they say after, but they can articulate a point and they can crush you. That's why the sword, that's why the mouth is like to a two-edged sword. They can chop you up
And it, or what they can put you together.
with the word, or they can attach you back.
Like the brother said, the one that's patient, you will see the spirit will bear witness within itself.
Yeah.
Because if they're not of Israel, the spirit will get rised up. But even with Israelites as well, our spirit will get rised up. But you will have to. That's why the Most High gives you that spirit of discernment, because of a testimony. Like Father said, we all have babies here, but we're very zealous and not have understanding of ourselves. But we've got back to how to refrain ourselves to be able to become teachers. So when the Most High put that spirit in us to be able to conduct and have that we call it the Torah classes, to discern the spirit that we're dealing with. Sometimes you will get Jake that will come up and buck up against the word and argue with you. But if they're in the right spirit, the Most High will bring them back and they'll be like, I've gone and done my research and this is what I've had. And then you see that the conversation gets more easier. You start now iron starts sharpening up iron. So it happens in that way sometimes. Like a father could be listening to a conversation that happens, might disagree, go back on we just come back over and be like, this is what I got. You start learning from that person.
But
you start learning from people.
But even Parson, you know, he tries to be all things to all men. And a good understanding of that, sometimes we pull out to people. When you start talking to them, you see that, well, you're not fully compass mental. So instead of being outside, just keep it on a basic level.
And by the way, touching on spirit of discernment, the first thing the brother said, I'll call him my brother, the first thing he said when he came there was, what is this thing about the sub-Saharan slave trade? The fact that he noticed that and asked about that should ring the bell that this is a possible trade. But most Muslims don't touch that for Adam.
It's true, you know.
They don't look at that.
And I will say one thing that we have to do as teachers, let's not try to get pushed from pillar to post. When somebody asks something, stay there, because they'll ask another question, and now come on that point, now they've got you on the back foot. Keep answering questions.
This is 2 Timothy 4:2 says from Don Israel, says, preach the word, be instant in season, out of season. Said reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering.
Yeah, because sometimes you have to rebuke. Sometimes you just have to rebuke. Just like sometimes you reprove. Sometimes you correct. Sometimes you exalt. You have to take it as
that's called balance.
Yes.
Because a false balance is an abomination unto Yahweh. He doesn't like it.
It says verse 3, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine like the elder, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. And that goes back to the other elder that I was trying to when I said to him, would you rather teach the doctrine that you've been taught or teach what the Bible says? Mama says he'd rather teach.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's why I said
and he's an elder.
That's why I said Acts 5:29, Acts 5:39. That addresses the same point.
And they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be
Which he
turned
did.
unto fables.
Which he was.
It says,
Meaning stories or allegories.
but watch now in all things, endure affliction, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of thy ministry.
Right, if you can jump back to Psalms 91, if you can go for 5 and 6 again, 5 and 6 again, so we can pull it back to where we were. If you can get about 3, second and 16. Yeah, right, Read that again.
Psalm chapter 91 verse 5. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day,
Remember this. Remember this verse. Keep this in your head.
nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that
With
wasteth
at noonday. Right now, let's go. Alright? Alright, okay, if you can bring out 2nd Ezra 16, 16.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrow that is shot, the arrow that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss.
Why won't they miss? Because they've got a hope, they've got
No, the targeting system.
the target system.
Missile, and what they do, they have a GPS
That's it,
tracking system, which is attached to a satellite, and it cannot miss.
That one that Russia had. Remember the Indian boat on the image? That was faster than he could blink, man.
Yeah, it was. To me, it looked like faster than speed.
Yeah.
Hypersonic, it was hypersonic. Yeah. You couldn't even target it.
You know what? To be honest, I think that's more than hypersonic.
Yeah, for real.
The
That
reason why I
was too
say
fast.
that,
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
Concorde in the 70s
Was
used to
hypersonic.
fly faster than the speed of sound.
Yeah.
And I used to see it.
Yeah.
It's true,
Yeah,
you
you
can
could
still
track
see
I used to
it.
see it.
That one you couldn't track
I used to see it and hear the noise after, but that one, I ain't seen it.
Concorde supersonic.
Yeah.
Hyper.
Yeah, there you go.
Hyper is hyper.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Concorde was supersonic. These ones are hypersonic.
Yeah, that was dangerous, man.
Read that
Six of them.
read that again for me.
For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrow that he shooteth
And
are sharp.
you know what they were saying about how the reason why Iran is running so successful, but China's giving them helping with the GPS tracking system.
More accurate.
Yeah, because they weren't using the American one.
Yeah.
I think we was chatting about that last week.
Yeah, we mentioned that, yeah.
You see, the problem with American technology is they weaponize it.
Yeah.
So if you're buying something from them, they put things in it to impede
Bugs,
it so
yeah.
that they can attack you.
That's like the Windows operating system. Remember I told you the guy who wrote the bugs out and Apple and Microsoft wanted to sue him.
You know, it's like our modern day iPhone. They already programmed to die or battery for whatever at a certain period of time.
And this is why I say when you review a computer, you go once update and leave it because when it's working. When you muck up and what they've done as well, on like Windows 7, I think Windows 8, you used to be able to have the option to have automatic download and install. Now they've removed that option. So it doesn't look here, but I've got a little thing where it stops that. Yeah, these registry options that I've got. So now, what they do, when they want you to upgrade, like change your operating system, they give you an update, the computer starts slowing up. Yeah. That's what I'm reviewing my laptop. Everything's nice now, you know what I'm saying?
That is crazy, but you see, they have to do that, otherwise you won't need another phone. If it's working, why would you need another phone? I mean, look at when you look at Apple, every year, iPhone 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So somebody has to buy them.
Same like the fashion industry. Nothing wrong with your clothes, but it's the new fashion.
Yeah.
That's old school.
That's old school. You don't get rid of that.
Yeah.
The new
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's why the other thing makes it love of the world.
In the world, yeah. Dearly.
You start following fashion, then
It's like over here, most things, because cars are the same.
yeah,
People always want to have the latest registration plate.
Now you're right.
You know, the brand new car at the front of the house.
Give me them chitty bang and slap $2 cost back twice. That's it. I'm fine with that. Just get me to A to B. I might get there a little later.
That's part of keeping up with the Joneses.
This is the book. The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp.
Yeah, because when you read Psalms, I think it's 43 or 44,
We're going to get to the end of this.
Yeah, Psalms 44 and 3 says, "For they got not the land in possession by their own sword, neither did their own arm save them, but thy right hand and thine arm, and the light of thy countenance, because thou hast a favour unto them." That's how we're going to win, man. You try and do this thing your own way, or on your own strength. You started a losing battle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, read that verse.
For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss.
That's right, because they've got that guiding system.
When they begin to shoot into the ends of the bow.
And
that's how you know.
No, yeah, that's another way how you know it's not normal bow and arrow. But it's saying never miss. No matter how good your aim is with a bow and arrow, you can miss. You know what I'm saying?
It's like you're doing this and it's like.
And with them guiding system.
Verse 14. Behold, the plagues are sent.
Because what's going to happen when nukes go down? Famine. You have like the water. The water's contaminated. Food's contaminated. So you know.
But it's the fallout that causes, like from a bomb. It's not the impact that causes the most damage. It's the blast.
It's It's a shockwave.
Yeah. And then after that now, it's the fallout that blocks out the flipping. That video uploaded the other day, the re-uploaded judgment day. There's another one I want to find. Where when the bomb went off, there's a guy sitting down and then like just left a shadow.
Shadow, yeah, I see. Just a shadow is left.
Yeah. Those are the fallout, man. Left a shadow for it. Yeah.
Verse 14. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth.
Like, you look at what's happening now. Over here in the UK, we've had bare sun. Not really no rain for a good several months, especially down in London, up in Scotland and some the other day. You look at the grass now, you know they talk about the grass look green on the other side. There's no green grass to look at on the other side. Everything's dry. Yeah. Then all these fires are happening. Yeah, so that's another plague within itself. As much as I love the sun, that because you need rain to make crops grow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because they're talking about there's a poor harvest now.
Because
they harvested earlier just to save what's in there because it's so dry. It's worse if they don't harvest it.
Go on that tracking. Anyone get that signal?
Oh yeah, no, I didn't. That turned off.
I didn't get it.
That's
But we know Rabbi's not going to get nothing. Even if they send the code, Rabbi's going to get nothing.
Yeah, man. I need to be like my
prehistoric phone. That's it.
Hey, I need my T-Rex.
I like times actually.
Never got a few. I didn't get it at all.
Mine went up one.
Not to light fires or barbecues.
Yeah.
So they're preparing. Preparing.
Verse 15.
Verse 15. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out.
Yeah, because when that new hits, there's no turning that back, sweeping it up, cleaning up the place. It's a done deal.
Listen, when you look at I did another lesson on various new blast capacity. And Russia's Zabon, 50 megaton, they had 100 megaton, and they reduced it to give the guys who got the time to get away. So even when they dropped that 50 megaton one, they dropped it with a parachute, and the guys still just about got away. Now, if the shot blast on that can travel 60 miles, so if that drops in the middle of the UK, that's going to become another Atlantis again.
Yeah, but
You know what I'm saying? And that's just one book.
there's something else that you have to take into consideration. It's called the EMP effect. The electromagnetic
Yeah,
pulse.
knock down
So
everything.
that does, it shuts down all the electronics.
Yeah.
So if you're flying and you're too close to it, your plane's going to drop. If you're driving a car, your car's going to stop. Especially the electric cars.
You know, I watched a film one time.
Yeah, true.
I watched a film where they were using the older aeroplanes.
Yeah.
Because they weren't so wrapped up in the
Electronics.
Yeah.
Good on you, mechanical. See the guy in front winding the propeller. Yeah,
You
really.
know, the one trying to get out and you're like, yeah, my God. The one-seater.
And you know, it's probably done them.
Yeah, read on that.
Verse 16. Like as an arrow which is shot from a mighty archer,
Because we
returning
know
not back.
a mighty archer, when you've got to experience archers, when they shoot that arrow, if it hits you, it can pass straight through you. A mighty archer, the amount of power he has when he bends that bow.
Have you ever seen someone fire a slingshot? No, the long one.
Right
Oh,
over
yeah,
there,
yeah.
front, spin around
And they do
that.
that.
Yeah.
And you hit
How
it,
would
you
that
hit
come
it.
from that if you're good enough?
I was watching a video.
I saw one with a white guy.
That white guy, he was demonstrating. You know, they had that ballistic skull on a table, and he was doing that with a stone. Listen, the velocity of that stone.
David mash up the
Yeah,
house.
yeah, crack that skull easy. Yeah.
Verse 16. Like as an archer,
Like as an arrow.
like as an arrow which is shot from a mighty archer, returning not backwards. Even so, the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again.
Because this is all the Most High is doing. So once he sends that, it's not returning. You can jump to 75 and 76.
Verse 75. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for power is your guide. Verse 76. And the guide of them that who keep my commandments and precepts, save your power, let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquity lift up themselves.
Now, when you think back to Psalms 91, this is how you get that protection. He said that, he says, be not afraid, neither doubt, for God is your guide, and the guide of them who keep the commandments and precepts, saith the Most High.
Under the shadow of your
That's how you get right. If you jump back to Psalms 91, if you can get Psalms 100, that one. Second Corinthians 16. Yeah, if you can get Psalms 19 and 9.
19.
Yeah, Psalms 19 and 9. If you get Psalms 9 and 16. Bring that out for us. Psalms 91, 7 to 9. So it's 7, 8 and 9.
Book of Psalms chapter 91 verse 7.
And this is where Tyler Perry picked it up from. When he read Psalms 91 verse 1, 2 and 3.
So he didn't show you how to get covered.
No,
Just
he
told you
skipped
you
out
covered.
4, 5 and 6 and he's jumped back in here now, verse 7. So we just went through 4, 5 and 6 to show you what that's relating to and how you get the covering of under the shadow of the Most High.
Further proving that these Christian apologetics, or Christians in general, are hypocrites. Because the first thing they accuse us of is cherry picking. And what this is illustrating is demonstrating cherry picking, because you choose the verses that back up your doctrine and then you skip the ones that don't.
Exactly.
With the Psalms, we've got a bunch of alternate territories.
Read verse 7.
Psalm 91 verse 7. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand.
There you go.
But it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked.
Head up, see the reward of the wicked, of the nations that went against you, i.e. who's in rulership today, who's taken us from the transatlantic slave trade, who's taken us on the sub-Saharan slave trade, who's taken us in various captivities amongst other nations.
Also the capitalist slave trade, because capitalism is a form of slavery because they're taxing you to work. So according to the scriptures, if you have to pay tribute or you have to pay money to work, that's a form of slavery as well.
Verse 9, the Lord thou hast made Yahweh, which is our refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation.
And that's how you get that protection, because you've made the Most High your protection, your refuge, under his wing, meaning in his laws, statutes and commandments, with now the faith of Yahushua, of course, because we no longer do animal sacrifice.
So this is the book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 15. Is that the one he gave you?
Hey, what did I give you? No, you do 9 and 16.
Yeah. Here's the book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 15. And he saw that rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. So when you go into the notes, it said, become a band of slaves unto tribute, and tribute in the scriptures is defined as tax, paying a tax. So when David put the Philistines under tribute, he put them under taxation to where they had to pay money to work. That's slavery as well.
All right, if you bring out Psalms 19 and 9. Yeah, I've totally forgot. This is the book. No, someone else. You got one? All right, yeah, if you get all right, yeah, you read Psalms 19 and 9, and if you forget verse 19.
So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 19 and verse 9.
Here we go.
The fear of the Lord Yahweh is clean, enduring forever.
So this is the main thing. Remember, the Bible does tell as well that the fear of the Lord is the first to be accepted of him. And now here, what did it just say?
The fear of the Lord Yahweh is clean, enduring forever.
One second, hold on. Come on, man. You're amongst your people, man. What's the question?
I've seen you guys in the UK.
Oh, serious? Well, where are you from? You look good, man. Yeah, man. You're looking good.
Because I see you guys online.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously I believe the message very much.
Good.
Oh, that's good. So there ain't really nothing we can say to you.
Thank
One
God.
over.
Well, we can say, yeah, thank God to keep his commandments.
So obviously I grew up in the church.
Okay, no problem. So did I.
Left the church when I realized
Something was lacking.
something was very much lacking.
Yeah.
I was part of the church, some of the events, I don't know if you guys
Yes.
So
We're very aware.
Yeah,
I got married in a September.
oh really?
And the reason for that was, when I was born, I was baptized as a Catholic, an English Catholic. My wife wasn't. So when I went to the best church in Trinidad is a Catholic church, very beautiful to look at. When I went there, they refused my wife to get married to me because she wasn't on the list. Apparently they have a list of all the beings that so we had to get married in a Sunday Adventist church. I had to go there for like about 3 or 4 months, take out my earrings and all that.
No, it's, I mean, it seems right because they follow the Sabbath.
Well, to an extent they do, but like they still believe everybody can be saved, and the scriptures don't teach you.
They don't pay. They don't pay the dues to the original people. They don't.
They don't even teach you you're an Israelite.
Yeah, they don't mention.
No.
And obviously Ellen White who did the whole thing.
Ellen G. White,
She doesn't speak about it. She talks about, oh, she saw Jews or whatever.
But
She'd be
Jesus,
like, well, he wasn't.
Jesus, she saw was
That's what I'm saying. If it was true, she wouldn't say. She'd be like, yo, by the way, guys. They look like those guys, not us.
What is it? John 7 and 38.
right there.
Yeah. John 8.
Right in your face.
John 8:32. if you're seeking the truth, even if you're in a church or a denomination or wherever you're in, eventually you will catch them out in their lie because they will say something or they will do something that's contrary to the truth. So that would be my advice to anybody really that's an Israelite, is to seek the truth. And that would be.
I mean, is there anything? Sorry, go ahead.
So this has been my personal path. Not necessarily a path. I've humbled myself to the truth. Right? I'm what you would call a Hamite. I'm a Hamite because I was born in West Africa, Nigeria.
That doesn't make sense. Wait. Let him finish first. We're gonna explain it. Your spirit already is different. Your spirit is different.
That was the question I had because, again, I've humbled myself to the truth.
9 and 11, I think. What's this?
I've humbled myself to the truth, understanding that I'm not even privy to salvation. Like I've accepted it even with that understanding. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny about that? No, wait. You know what's funny about that? When I was coming into the truth, because I had initially done research on my background, but most people in the Americans, they lost their heritage. So I wasn't quite sure. People used to tell me, oh, you're looking like you've got white hair, you've got brown eyes, rare. And because I hadn't done the research at that time, I said the same thing you said. I said, you know what? This is the truth. I know it's the truth. And if I have to be a servant in the kingdom, so be it. I'm following the truth. So I love that spirit of God. And that's the spirit.
Now watch this. I remember you said that. You feel that because you were born there, right? Read that.
That was Psalm 49 verse 11. The inward thought is that their houses.
Now people go around conquering, like the Caucasian race has been going around conquering. But when they take people's land, they pass it on as generation because they feel like their house is going to last forever. Read that from the top again.
Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all
So
generations.
they pass it down to their generations. And
They call their lands after their own names.
what do?
They call their lands after their own names.
And that's why you would say you were, what did you say you was?
Nigerian.
Now,
named it Nigerian.
now what's this?
Yeah. Her name was Shaw.
Yeah, something like that.
Now, the reason why I went to that first, showing you that you're not named after the land. You come from a seed line, your father. So whatever your father is, that's what you are. Not the land what you were born in. The land what you're born in doesn't make you that person. Read Numbers 180. Let's show it. Let's say something. Let's show it. Yeah.
Book of Numbers, chapter 1, verse 18.
What's it?
And they assemble all the congregation together on the first day of the second month.
What's this?
And they declare their pedigree,
Which is their lineage.
after their family, by the house of their fathers.
No, the lands where they were born.
By the house of their fathers.
That's how you determine who you are. See with your father, not what land you're born in. It's like this, right? If I was born in China, would Chinese people consider me Chinese? There you go, see? But I was born there. I speak the lingo.
I need to check due diligence.
So I've got precepts for you. Each one.
What made you because of you come to say to yourself, what made you speak up?
Purely because that's just the land that's where I'm from.
Right, but if you do your research, you will know that the people from the West Coast are I know there's some that didn't actually go into the first place.
Yeah, that's
but that's also in there as well. That's Deuteronomy 28 and I see what verse it is.
That was actually one of the, because I was thinking if I was still in Nigeria, my family was still in Nigeria when slavery happened, then surely
you know why that was?
Surely we would.
Wait.
You know what?
He's going to address something. I've got something. Because this is actually after what you just asked. So I had it on deck before you asked you the question.
What do you say? They go into slavery?
Yeah, which one? Which one?
But the thing, see what it is, your family comes from a nation of people, and the majority of those people went into slavery.
What's the so one of you children where it says that their children will be around
28, 30.
Oh, yeah. It says, Deuteronomy 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So just because of your family might not have gone into it, you know, there's a remnant of your family that did.
Right.
Yeah. So your say like your nan and your granddad didn't go into it, but their great grandchildren have gone into it because they might have been too old to be making that trip. They don't want no old people that can't do that journey because they're gonna die along the way. There's no profit. So let's take the young people.
Remember, it was a business venture as well.
Yeah.
And thine eye shall look and fail for longing for them all the day long.
So can you imagine granddad and granny are sitting in Nigeria like, them just come take my baby, they can't do this no more. They're going mad now. So they are victims of slavery.
You ever see someone and you say to yourself, bro, that looks like such and such that I know, but it's not them? Because during slavery, they split our families. So at some point, you know, I remember there was a time some happened up in this Westminster. Up in the Westminster over the Christmas, and the police took loads of pictures. I swear, if I weren't where I was, I would have swear that was me. You know what I'm saying? Looked exactly like me. So where they split our families, people pass your actual blood relative and you don't know.
Exactly.
Alright, so let me bring out the precept to the book. Unless you got something.
No.
It's addressing the question that you had.
Tell me and I'll read it.
I'll put it in.
No,
So
I'll
this is the
read
book
it.
So this is the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 14 to 16. Verse 14. For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. So obviously the Spirit is working with you because is drawing you. My sheep hear my voice. Verse 13. So ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, meaning reconciliation or bringing you back, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. This is the point now. Verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God.
Your spirit bears with us.
From the minute I saw you. So what I wanted to ask you now, is what tribe are you from in Nigeria? Yoruba, Igbo?
Yoruba definitely.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's like
A branch. There's different branches.
Yeah.
What like the main tribe would be Yoruba. So Yoruba actually traces back to Yoruba or Yoruba and Rawaba So your name of your tribe indicates that you're Israel. And some of the customs that you don't keep, even when it's going against the Bible, it's still coinciding with the Bible. So when they're making the sacrifice, they'll put the blood on the altar, right? They will give their first fruits. They would have certain feasts which line up with our feasts, right? So your culture, your custom, even some of the words that you have used, is Hebrew. Right? So you're Hebrew, brother. And your spirit bear witness, they're a Gentile. But if you went into Jamaica, you'd be a Jamaican, you're learning Trinidad. Yeah. If you went into Haiti, you'd be a Haitian.
People that are from their West Coast, and when they open their mouth, the biggest patois.
Yeah.
And you think about it, right? When West Coast comes to the UK, who did they mix with? Caribbean. When Somalis, Eritreans come, did they mix it up?
That's the other thing that I wanted to say. So when you said you're Hamite because you're from the land of Ham, no, you're not from the land of Ham. The land of Ham or Cam is the land of Kemet or Egypt. Right? That's the northeast portion. Now you may have come from there in the past or come through there in the past, but you're not from there, right? So spirit bearing witness. And that was before you even said that you were Yoruba. If you said you're Yoruba, you said you're Igbo, you're one of my lips. If you said you're Ashan, Akan is another one of them. You're my people. I know my people. If you from Senegal all the way down to Angola, you're my people. Now, I'm not saying that there's not Hamites and Hamites mixed in them, but you can tell them by the spirit. They have a different spirit, they have a different vibe, energy.
Don't forget Exodus 11 and 7. But when you read the Bible, Moses crossed the Pharaoh's grandson.
Yep.
That means we can like certain Hamites. But watch this.
So read the book of Exodus chapter 11 and verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog
That not be compared to the other nations.
move his tongue against man or
The
beast,
abomination that can't speak against us or our captain,
that he may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians, which should be the Camites, because they're the Kemetic people, and Israel, which is us, Yashar.
There's a difference, man. Spiritually, if you know we're different to them.
So
There's
all you need to do is like pick up your Bible, read it a bit more, and start applying it. You know, there's a dietary law, we can apply it. So we have to make sure we're aware of that. There's feast days. Do what you can. Because you ain't going to be able to keep all it.
But the funny thing is, for the most part, West Coast of Africa, they keep the feast days better than us.
You live here, right? Yeah, that's why I said, like, do what you can do. Like, so, like, the dietary law, foods you can carry.
For the longest.
Oh, wait, so yes, you know, the feast days, try to, especially you can, Leviticus 23, read it, and just try to keep, slowly, as best as you can. The moral laws, try to, like, look at your people first. Try to put your people first. Yeah?
Your brother, then,
You would never get better than you deal with the other nation and the civil law. Make sure if you get a woman, you get one of a woman of your own people.
That's very important. No, when I say it's important, what it is, there's other women out there that look attractive. Or, you might have a lust for them, right? The thing is, they will be used to lead you away from...
No, read it. Let's read it. Show me. Deuteronomy 7:3.
Yeah. Deuteronomy 7. Deuteronomy 7.
This one, 7:3, start at verse 3.
Here's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 3 and 4. Verse 3. Neither shall thou make marriages with them.
So I say not to make marriages with the other nation. We're going to tell you why in a minute.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son, your son. Verse 4. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. That's what Jezebel did.
Oh, this has happened to a friend of mine recently. He was quote-unquote a Christian, even though I was showing him he don't deal with Christianity. I was starting to teach him. He's got to marry a woman who family is Somalian. Family is no, they follow, that's it, that's what I remember. They follow Muslim Islam. Now he's taking his Shahada and now he's saying he's a Muslim. Just like that. Woman. That's how, and through her family. The family look like it's quite wealthy as well. Now he's claiming just like that.
For they will turn away thy son.
Tell me how this is not true.
That they may serve other gods, so will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy the son. So what it is, right, it's not saying you're supposed to marry a Yoruba tribe. And by the way, that's how I know that they're Israelites as well. Because you have the custom of, for the most part, oh, you're Yoruba, you should marry a Yoruba, you're Igbo, you should marry an Igbo. This is where they're getting it from. But they're not fully understanding what it means. What it means is, if you are descended from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and you're an Israelite, you can marry a Brazilian Israelite, you can marry a Trinidadian Israelite, you can marry a Latina, you can marry a Puerto Rican, a Gadai, a Ghanaian Israelite, because they're Israelites. Yes.
But initially, we're meant to marry within our tribe. Because then the land inheritance won't go to another tribe. Today, you might say we're from this tribe or that tribe, but ultimately, we're not fully. So, from the Israelite,
and what I would say is, well, the reason why God in this day and age to get a woman of your own kin is because you need somebody that understands because you both do the same project. And then there's a way for a man to be able to sit there and be like, babe, I'm going to do this with you. And you can now try that as a man. In this day and age, this is how we have to conduct ourselves. But now I'm taking back leadership. You're a man at me, be mad at me. Because I want them to now lead them. Now I'm back. Be my pillar of rest. I'm going to go to war and heaven and hell for both of them. So be that pillar of rest that you, in turn, the most high put us together and you I'm going to be that understands. She's going to be like, you both want to do the country. You both want to understand. But my man would have had a nice teaching and not going to do the same thing.
not only that, someone get me Isaiah 40. You never know that the woman that you're with, that she can make it to the kingdom as well. And if not, 14 and 1.
So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob,
As long as we repent,
and will yet choose Israel.
that's his chosen people. Israel was trying to make it big. Just because we broke the covenant, the Most High will not be them.
But the funny thing is, right, even in their Quran, there's no verse in the Quran where it says that he no longer prefers Israel. No verse even in their Quran says
Yeah,
no, he won't. You see it there?
Right, so this is the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
It's not how we have to go to them for everything. We're going to have to come to us.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, but my point is, why it's important to stick with someone of your own people.
Verse 2. And the people shall take them
We're going to take these other nations
and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captive, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
If your woman is an Ishmaelite, what do you think will happen? Where is the mind?
Right, so it's
Tobit chapter 4 verse 12. Beware of whoredom, my son,
Watch this, this is it.
and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, and take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe. For we are the children of the prophets, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, that they all married wives after their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land.
That's how you know Christianity ain't it. But God loves everybody. But the black people separate.
Right, I like that because they had to know it to express it. No, I ain't gonna answer. So what I wanted to mention as well, so you had doubts based on the location of where your people are from. Don't look at the location because we're spread in the four corners of the earth. Look at the customs of your people. So there's so many customs your people have that are Israelite customs. One being, if a father dies and he left a daughter and not a son, the uncles and the cousins come and take them. No, that's well, yeah, they have that as well. But they come and take the inheritance because they say you're going to marry somebody and then we're going to lose the inheritance from our family. So it happens all the time. Now that happened in Israel with the tribe of Manasseh, I think it was Gilead, where he only had daughters, right? So they said, okay, what do we do? Because if they marry, they're going to marry outside, or if they marry outside, we're going to lose our inheritance. So what happened was the Most High, I think, the Most High told them they, in that circumstance, have to marry within their tribe, or to keep it within the lineage. Yes. So what he said, quiet in the Lord.
Numbers 27.
Yes.
Two places.
Yeah.
Read that.
I mean, Judges
18 and 19.
Deuteronomy 26, verse
Yeah, 18 and 19.
Look at Deuteronomy 26, 18. And the Lord has avowed thee this day
Made a vow.
to be his peculiar people, and he hath promised thee, and that thou shouldest keep all his commandments.
That's how we become the kingdom. Right?
19. To make thee high above all nations, which he hath made,
Make us equal.
and to make thee high above all nations which he hath
Not
made,
just the bad nations.
above all nations which he hath made. He prays.
So, what you say you were from? The Most High is the Israelites, which means increase of power. That's what our name means, increase of power. To make us high above them in name
And in honor,
and in honor.
and thou mayest
JJ Blackhead's falling for yours.
Read that.
make thee high above all nations which he hath made, in praise, in his name,
And in name.
and in honor, and that thou mayest be an holy people unto the Lord thy God,
Only means set
as he
apart.
hath spoken.
As long as we keep the commandments, that's what makes us set apart. Otherwise, how are we any
We're no
different?
different from anyone else.
Right, so according to the Zondervan Combat Bible Dictionary, we're known as Negroes, right? Not the Negroes, that's us, right? So, northern bit of Nigeria was called Negro land.
Yeah, in the whole map.
Yes, it was called Negro land, right?
It's the land of the Jews somewhere around.
Yeah, the tribe of
yes,
Judah
yes.
in there.
I think that's close to Ghana somewhere. So so basically what it is, right? If you spoke to your elders, you know there's a precept that says speak to your elders. You speak to your elders and you ask them. Some of the ancients actually know, but what happened was they were told to keep it a secret, or they were threatened to not teach the younger ones the ancient stories. The same thing happened with the American Indians. So they knew they were Israelites, but over time they were told not to teach the younger ones them under pain of death. But if you look at the culture and the customs, and you read the Bible, you're going to see so many things that line up with your history and your culture.
No one can't tell me when you're
Now,
no one.
I'm way past the point of.
Yeah, well, we can see that. Anyway, you kind of know.
Next point now.
And I've done it against all of my family. At this point, you know, like,
I think we're all. I've only got my son. The rest of the family.
all this thing as I'm raising.
But you know, the Bible says you take one of us,
One of the family and two
two
of
of a
us.
city.
just to prove everything we say we prove. Yeah, so this is what the book that's a quote. That's what it is. Not the Negro, but the these will be the Hamitic nation. Yeah. Not the Negro.
Let me tell you something else. Someone get taxed for any of the work. In the New Testament, that's the Greek word or what it was translated from. Some of these
Yeah, but Acts chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers and Barnabas and Simeon that was called nigger.
you go there. Some people say Niger, but when you go to it,
even though it's not pronounced like.
So that's what they were calling. Then
It's crazy to me because Christians will read that verse and still say, oh yeah. I mean, if Christ was related to the disciples, to the people that were named in that verse,
so how is it that
they're looking like what they're looking like? That makes no sense.
that's what happened, the Renaissance.
Right, yeah.
What's his name? Michelangelo.
Caesar
Was there.
was
That happened in the Renaissance, the rebirth, which is called a rebirth. When they come out and start to take that charge. When you read Malachi chapter 1, where it says we are impoverished but we will return. Because you have like, when you look at the Dark Ages, so-called black people were rulers, but obviously, exactly.
That's what the two mentioned, you know.
But obviously we rebelled against the Most High, and now the Renaissance is them, the rebirth. They take rising back up, they take it back over, pushing us out, conquering our land, and changing the image of our leaders, and taking precedence in everything. That's how that happened. But you read that in Malachi, the first chapter, where it says,
First Maccabees chapter 3 verse 48. And laid open the book of the law,
The Bible.
wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
Now the Israelites are white, the Hawashai is white, God is white, the angels are white.
The Israelis are white.
That's about right. That's the right thing.
They made a movie about Moses and they deleted the scene when he put his hand in his door and he brought it out dark.
That film was quite accurate.
It was
the
one of the
Bible,
best.
but they left that bit out.
They had to.
because he was a white man already.
The tablets was actually written in Hebrew.
Just to be the mill, yes. The director is Jewish.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, I've been blessed today.
I think it's us.
Tommy Hilfiger.
Shalom, my brother, you on the front. Shalom, sister Rebecca on front. We're about Shem Yashem back from. No, that was
Is
it.
there anything to bring out?
No.
Praise each other. Yeah.
He's only just doing this because
Even the skin, how about the skin is look like flat paint? You see his skin was shining, his skin don't shine.
yeah, you can see, you can see the brothers.
They
Yeah.
look more Caribbean than West
I
Coast.
think so. I know a lot of brothers in the Caribbean.
And that's what I'm saying. I've met people, I thought they're from the West Coast, but when they all that they know,
Yeah.
Because
I know.
even said he was hand.
Well, remember, was it last week when we was in the train? Remember the two sisters?
Oh,
Down there.
yeah. Get three of them. Sit down and sit across the way.
and then I feel the vice versa, when they look Caribbean, but when they open their mouth, they think it's West Coast.
I know, right?
I'll bring that out as usual. Malachi 2, 7, 8, and 9.
This is the book of Malachi, chapter 2, verse 7. The priest's lips should keep knowledge.
And this is what, listen, we are, like the Bible does say that He's made us kings and priests and all that. Right, so we are going to keep the knowledge. As they won't do it, we'll do it.
When it says I will raise them up pastors according to mine heart, Jeremiah 3:15.
That will feed you with knowledge.
Yeah.
And if we have to use a big spoon, so we will.
And they should seek. Malachi chapter 2 and verse 7. For the priest's lips shall keep knowledge, and they should speak a law out of his mouth. For he is the messenger of Yahweh, power of hosts.
But here what?
Verse 8. But ye are departed out of the way. Ye have caused many to stumble at the Lord. Ye have corrupt and covenant of Levi. Says Yahweh of hosts. Verse 9. Therefore I have also made you contemptible and base before all the people, according as ye have not kept my way.
Funny enough, I was probably watching a lesson this morning where this brother was teaching some Christian and they were saying, they were asking, how you know you're from the tribe of Levi and where they? He was going into it how first he went into Genesis 49, then he was explaining Simeon and Levi going to be together, but then he brought this up. Because when you look up the tribe, Levi are the basis.
Yeah. Now read that last bit again.
Verse 9. For therefore I have also made you contemptible and base before all the people, according as ye have not kept my way, but have been partial in the law.
So you've been partial in the law. But you know where I find Christians are very partial in the law? They say the laws are done away with, except tithing and offering. That's managed to make it through still today. But otherwise, yeah, maybe everything. But guess what? The laws are done away with.
Christ fulfilled the law.
He fulfilled the law, except tithing and offering. Okay, I need your money to make this dream happen. To make this work, I need your money.
Make this dream happen. You see it right.
We actually need 65 million to get a jet that we can take Yasharala to and from camp.
Exactly. Yeah. Like a 311.
And you know we got the money to get the blade as well. Personal dollar. Yeah.
Listen, the amount of money these so-called black churches have can end poverty. They can end poverty in our nation. If it was distributed in Acts, when they sold their goods and bought the money, the price of it, at the apostles' feet, and it was distributed to whoever had need. Yeah, if that was happened, you wouldn't have an issue. There wouldn't be poverty, hunger, none of our people sleeping on the streets. Yeah, bring that up.
So this is the book of Micah, chapter 3 and verse 11.
But here's the problem. This is why that would never happen.
The heads thereof judge for reward, filthy lucre, and the priests thereof teach for hire.
They're not teaching unless they get paid. If they don't get paid, they're not teaching.
And that's for money. And the prophets thereof divine for money.
Yeah, divine for money. You know what? Something good's going to happen to you, but I need you to donate $500 first.
I need a seed, brother. I need a seed.
In Israel, we had certain brothers that was charged with the breakdown. Breakdown.
Oh, yes. That's divining for money.
Well, the cash up acting on it like these bigger ones.
I can understand because
they help
they
run
need
the congregation.
because they go to other countries and they need like financing to help.
That's it. The cash up is if you're building a nation, fine. When you're asking to pay to understand, to learn the precept, that's off. That's way off.
But the Bible says, when you receive, freely give.
Exactly, that's way off. And it says, sell the truth to buy it back. Sell it to buy it not. The Bible you know what I'm saying? Don't make profit. But the profit comes in when the kingdom is built. So you're just as bad as the Christian pastors are doing. That's everything. Not just they are.
Yeah, read that again first. Christian pastors and strangers. Yeah. Christian pastors 23:13. David left. Yeah, read that again.
So this is the book of Micah, chapter 3, verse 11. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money.
And guess what?
Yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, is not the Lord among us? None evil can come upon us.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and I hear that so often from them pastors and priests. Quickly hit me up with 23 and 13.
But Matthew chapter 23 verse 13. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you shut up the kingdom of heaven against men.
Yeah, because why? You're not teaching them the truth, how to really repent to get the kingdom. That's what you're not teaching, so you shut the kingdom up to them. But watch this.
You neither go in yourself,
You shut up to yourself as well.
neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in.
So those that could have entered after your teaching, they're not going anywhere, but into the lake of fire.
That's all he needs for the door.
Exactly. 15.
Yeah, forward us, Sister Rebecca. Your boss and your
Matthew 15 to 8, 14.
Book of Matthew chapter 15 and verse 13. But he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up.
So all those that you see jucking and jiving, singing and dancing out the front, especially like the Chinese got that turn up and make their noise and all them, they're going to be rooted up.
Let them alone.
So leave them. You know what? Don't even worry about them.
They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch.
There you have it. With that I yield. I'm not going to say nothing more. That says all I need to say. I yield. I don't know, you know. I think I'm ready to Psalm 91. But remember they done the thing first. Yeah.
Yes, and in the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, and verse 24, and it reads, man's going of the Lord Yahweh. How can a man then understand his own way?
Let's get third wicked money. That's what I'm looking at you.
Deuteronomy chapter 13 verse 2, and shall return unto Adonai Yahweh thy power, and shall obey his voice, and to all that command you this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart and with all thy soul.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Luke chapter 15 and verse 10. Likewise I say unto you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner that repents.
Really go to chapter 13 and 3.
Luke chapter 13. Luke chapter 13 and verse 3. And it reads, I tell you nay, but except ye repent,
Lest
ye
you
shall
change
not,
your ways.
ye shall all likewise perish.
It's that simple. Unless you change your ways, come back to the law, statutes and commandments, you shall all likewise perish. With the wicked.
The book of Hebrews chapter 10 verse 31. It is a fearful thing to fall
Into the hands of the living power.
We shall back to the book of Psalm 50 verse 22. Now consider this. Ye that forget Yahweh, he shall tear you in pieces, and there be none to deliver.
And we're going straight in. Proverbs 4 and 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding. Not overstanding, understanding.
Middle standing.
And we're going to go straight to Psalms 111 verse 10. And it reads, the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth.
I will love you.
I will love you.
And the rules are coming up. And as you know by now, we're going to go to the conclusion of the whole matter. So if you don't know none, know this. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. And it reads, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man every Israelite, man, woman, and child. Verse 14. For Yahweh shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
So yeah, for word of everyone that tuned in, Lord willing, the lesson was edifying. But with that, we're going to close out and give all glory and honor praises.
Oh, easy, you must took some out. And guess what? You thought I'd known that? Yeah, we would have been out. We would have been out. And what the prophet's going to say?
Shalom.
Now we out. Oh man, you guys are crazy.